Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to sort of do a bit of a follow on from the last video. In the last video we looked at how you can set up Windows 95 and 98 in like a virtual machine environment to be able to play the older games on the modern PCs. In today's episode I'm going to show you how to set up two emulators stroke front ends if you like. One called DOSBOX-X, which is a standalone emulator based on the excellent DOSBox, and the second thing I will show you is ExoDos, which is sort of like a combination of DOSBox but with a front end on, which makes it much easier to install the games, and they're all located in one place. I use it quite a lot if you just want that quick fix of playing a game without having to go into too much detail of setting things up. So without further ado, let's get the files that we need. So for DOSBox, we need to go to the DOSBox web page. Again, I'll put all the links in the description below. This isn't the standard DOSBox, which you can also get. I'll put a link in for that one as well. So I think the original DOSBox, if I'm correct, is on version 72. Let's go to that. Yep, so the original, it's on 74.3, but again, that came out in 2019, so that's pretty old now, so things have updated a bit since then. But again, if you want to use that, by all means, it's entirely up to you. The thing with DOSBox-X as well, it's not so much command line driven, it's more you've got the GUI interfaces, so it makes it a bit easier. So if you go to DOSBox-X and download whichever version it is you want, so the 32-bit setup or the 64-bit setup, again on the screen it gives you a lot of information of what's available and what it can do now. So you download that, and the second thing for the second part of the video, if you want to use that, is load ExoDos version 5. It's the latest version. Again, it includes 7,200 DOS games, so it's pretty good. I think it's the majority of all the DOS games out there. So again, you can also get the manual, and you can get a Linux patch if you want to do that via that. So there's two versions. There's a full release version, which is about 528 gigabytes, which encompasses everything, or there's the light version, which basically includes the metadata and front end. But when you download a game from it downloads the game from a set place. So when you run the game for the first time, it literally downloads that game and installs it, which is fine. But if the servers go down, it's a bit of a pain. So this is one of the reasons why I downloaded the full version. So again, you just click on that, you get the torrent, and it will bring up that information on the screen. I always use Qubit. It's an excellent torrent manager, so there you go. So it's 562 gigabytes. So once you've downloaded your files, the first one we'll look at is DOSBox-X. Just unzip it and install it to where you want in the directory to be, so whether that's an external hard drive or your C drive or wherever. The other thing you need to do is create a folder somewhere and just call it games or DOS games, where we're going to use that as the virtual C drive for DOSBox, and we need to mount that to tell the system where it's going to be. So you load up DOSBox, as with anything, it comes up, and then we type in mount C and then the location of where you're wanting to mount C, or where your games are. And it will say drive C is mounted as local directory, DOS games, etc. And then just to change to that, we pipe C in, and with the normal commands of DOS, we can list what's in there. So I've got a game in there, Oregon Trail, something I've never played because it wasn't so big in the UK. So you can just change to that. I never know what that key is, the wobbly key. That's it, there we go. And as with anything, we can look at what's in there. So you've got all your basic commands of your readmes, your setups, your sound blaster.com, setup beta, etc. Just before we set that up and get it running, like I say at the top, you've got lots of options to change things. You can have different things, full screen, you can increase the sound, DOS. There's so many different options up there. You can put different drive letters in. It's quite a good little package. I'm going to say, if you want to mess around with it, it's got 3D emulation. It's got a lot of other things in there. So go in and mess around. Like I say, there is a manual you can download as well. There's lots of videos out there, but this is just a basic video to show you how to get it up and running. So if we toggle from full screen and run setup, hopefully it should run it. So there we go. We select Sound Blaster. So once we've set up the Sound Blast and stuff, we can then load in the file. So it's Oregon, I believe. And there we go. Takes a few seconds for it to set up. So now we're in the game, we can start a game again and say I don't really know much about this game, I've never played it, so let's have a quick blast. And there you go. So you can buy certain things, I would imagine, and it's a bit like a simulator of life, I believe, in the Old West. So that's DOSBOX-X, and it runs most games. So again, it's a bit more fiddly to set up. Not that difficult, but I say it depends on how much you want to go into it. You can change all different settings. So we'll now move on to looking at ExoDos, which is a bit more easier to use. So again, once you've downloaded the program, unzip it, install it, and to wherever you want it. With it being quite large, make sure you've got space if you're using the full version. The one thing I would do say is it does use Launchbox as the front end for this. So if you just click on that, and then it will bring up or launch the ExoDos information in the background. So as you can see from the get-go, it's got 7,104 DOS games in there. So again, let's see if we can load the one that I've just been playing. So Oregon Trail, I think it was the deluxe version. So to play it, you literally type in the name of the game you want, select the game, and it will bring up information to the right all about the game, telling you what it's about, and it'll be quite interesting if you've never played stuff before. Gives you an idea what the game's about. So if we click on play, it should now ask you if you want to install it. So it's telling me the game has not been installed, even though I've downloaded it, it's not been installed yet. So you click on yes. It then installs all the files. You want to enable aspect correction ratio. So if it looks correct, click on yes. You want full screen, yep. And we don't want to change the graphic filters. So now we've done that, it's installed the game. We literally just click on play, and it should load it up. There we go. And it's as simple as that. This is why I love ExoDos. It's so easy. It's exactly the same as before. And we're back to there where we started. So again, I just think that's a really easy way of playing DOS games if you're wanting to do that. I'll just come out there a second and shut that down. And to come out, I always press Control and Escape to get back to your windows, and then you can just go. Launchbox is still running in the background, but it's got every game you can think about, or just about, for DOS. So it just makes it really easy to load and play. One thing I forgot to mention as well, they've also done something called Win3X, which is basically Windows 3.1, and it's got 1,138 Windows games in it. So again, you can download this, get the full release, and it's exactly the same as how ExoDos works, but it's just Windows 3.1, I believe, games instead of DOS. So that's something that you're into, then download this and try it. It's exactly the same, and it's just as easy to use. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Again, I just say I don't go into much detail, but it's just to give you a taster so you can get up and running and get playing some games. Again, have a great Christmas, and I will see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.